Hello, welcome. It has been a minute since I've had any content on here, and there's a few reasons why. So this is a Trail Camera Tuesday, but I've been out. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, I'm not sure. Hunting has just been interesting after the youth hunt. So I was sick, life happens, bored, I work late at times. I'm your average hunter. I don't get to go out 365, 24/7. I don't have that kind of access. So this is how the first week went. I'll put a little clip here.
Sometimes you just get to a spot and you had an image in your head of what it looked like, and then you got there, you just weren't happy with it.
This is how the second week went. Put a little clip here.
My original fear for this spot is pretty true. It's definitely overhunted. It's really pressured. So I gotta figure out if I want to make this spot work or just not hunt it at all.
And so now we're here, and all the cameras, I wasn't getting any information from them. The one camera, it was off for 2 weeks. It was in the woods and it was off. I don't know how that happened or why that happened, but I switched out the batteries to be safe, and that leads me into cell cams. It's been over a month with each one, and I have to say a couple things. One, it's not exactly an apples to apples comparison, because there's some settings on this one that I can't do on this one because the camera, this is just a modem, so I'm just plugging into a camera I already have, which means I'm limited to the settings that are on that camera for things like sensitivity. This one has options for that, high, medium, low, and it's come in handy. I've been able to turn it low on windy days, and when it is getting triggered by leaves, I can put it on low and it doesn't send as many photos, saving you money in the long run. This one doesn't have that setting, so you're just kind of stuck with a lot of photos. So many photos, it's not even funny. But that's, like I said, if you bought the actual cell cam, I'm not sure how it would work. 2, the app for SpyPoint, I use Android, just throw it out there now. The app for SpyPoint, much smoother experience, much more enjoyable experience. The settings are laid out properly. I like where everything is. The Moultrie, it's crashed a few times. I've had to refresh it. By no means is it a bad experience. Definitely not. I have other Android apps that run like garbage. If you can get one use out of them, you're lucky. But compare the two apps, which will be the same no matter what you get. Android, SpyPoint takes the cake again. But there's the one gotcha. The SpyPoint, if you only want one cell cam and that's all you're gonna go with, it's the cheapest, best option in my opinion, hands down. Go ahead and just go pick yourself up one right now to try it out. You probably still find them on sale, otherwise they're gonna be $149 now. When I first got it, it was $119. It's awesome. The gotcha. If you don't want multiple accounts from multiple cameras, which means you have to log out and log in with a separate login for your other cameras, there's a yearly fee on top of your photo transmission fee. So if if you need 15 cameras, this may be the way to go. You can do the math. It might not work out because these are, $20 cheaper or whatever, times the 500 of them that you buy, whatever it may be, compared to this one being cheaper, but then the yearly fee. You can do your own math on that, but it's something to consider for sure. Quality-wise, I think the Moultrie is sending better quality photos, but then again, not apples to apples, because I have a really good Moultrie camera plugged into this, my A30i, and this is just the 129. So, once again, not apples to apples, but I would say quality-wise, this one is better. Local quality, it's a lot closer, for sure. Compression's a little more on SpyPoint, and it is kind of nice. With the Moultrie, they charge you extra photos, but you can get the original quality sent to the app. Also kind of nice. But that's really it. I mean, that's all I gotta say about them. I absolutely love them, and if you want to get in the cell cam game, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Go get yourself the Moultrie, go get yourself the SpyPoint. It really doesn't matter.
Both are fairly cheap on the monthly plans. There's no cancellation, there's no activation. So they're cheap regardless. But I got the 1,000 photo plan on this one, which is $14 a month. I got the 1,500 photo on this one because, like I said, can't control the sensitivity, so you gotta be careful. I had to set the delay on it one day to like 10 minutes because the sun was peeking through some trees and just, it was windy, and it was just every 10 seconds it was sending photos. With that said, I have been running both of them for 2 months. They have sent over 2,000 photos each, roughly. My batteries are still 100% with the Energizer lithiums. Don't go cheap on batteries. If you just get the Energizer lithiums, you'll be set. Keep that in mind as well. But at the end of the day, if I go pick up another camera, another cell cam to put out in the woods, it's gonna be the Moultrie for one reason and one reason only, is because I want their actual camera. Like, this is the modem setup. I want to experience their actual camera. They have one for $179. I'll probably do that before the year's over. If that wasn't the case, if this was the actual camera and I had to get another camera, depending on how the quality and everything, it's gonna be the Spy Point though. I'm getting another one of these for sure. I love the experience of it, and I would pay the $49 year fee to have multiple cameras on one account, which kind of sucks. If you need to step your toe in the game, you need to get yourself a cell cam. Go get yourself a Spy Point. Take away the fear of the thing, like take away the fear of the cell cams. It's pretty great. But that out of the way, let's get to some Trail Camera Tuesday. There's 3.5 weeks of stuff to go through, which will take about, I don't know, 45 seconds because it's nothing. I'm gonna be completely honest. Cameras went dead. There's just nothing moving. There's like 3 or 4 things that I'll show you guys. I'll click through a bunch, but there's 3 or 4 that I'm gonna pause on and really show you because it's exciting. It's so very exciting, and it got me excited for hunting again because there was a moment where, you know, my biggest hitless buck gets killed and you lose a lot of motivation, and then there's nothing on the cameras over and over and over, and then the youth hunt happens and you have such a good experience, and then you try to go out bow hunting and nothing happens, and you check your cameras and nothing's there, and then you go bow hunting and nothing happens and nothing's there. But patience was key, especially with swampland. Like I've said on this channel, one of my favorite places to hunt, one that has many memories at it. Maryland's first buck was shot there. I always mess this up. This side. Click over here. So there's many great things about that, but I always know to be patient with the cameras. The bucks just don't live there in the summer. They don't walk through there. They don't start going through there until they're checking for does and they're eating acorns. So those are the 2 things that bring them to that area. So just gotta stay patient with your spots, especially if you know your property. Don't get discouraged at the beginning of the season, and don't burn out your land, you know, or your spots hunting over and over and over again when you know the deer aren't gonna be there till November. Like, that's just the case sometimes. And with November comes just so many other unknowns that it just makes it a great time. But enough rambling, and since we started on cell cams, that's where I'll start. But we're gonna start right here on the Spy Point. I would pull up the Moultrie, but I don't remember my password, and I didn't save it in Google for some reason, and I'm not gonna reset it right now. I don't really feel like it. Plus, there's nothing there to show you. There's no big bucks or anything. So we're gonna start here on the Spy Point, and as you can see, we had it over here. It's a while ago now, but we had it over here, and we on the one part of the property, and there was doe bedding like crazy. It was every single day, around the same times, middays a lot. Does were over here laying on the backside of this little pine tree hill in like a swampy area. So then we decided to move it. We put it out on the food plot, and then shortly thereafter, we have a second buck. We have 2 very, very nice bucks on the property running around. As you can see, I mean, you can see those antlers sticking up back there. Very excited about it. He's very awkward looking. I'm excited to see more photos of him. But that is outstanding. I'm very glad to still see bucks out there because there's a pretty good gap where we didn't see anything. We had the number 1 hit list. This guy showed up a few times. And then kind of went blank for a while, but I wasn't worried. Knowing that buck was going through there and cruising around, I knew he'd be back sooner or later. And it's going to be a luck of the draw for us to kill him. It's such a small property.
We just gotta hope he gets on a doe on this property and we can get him. Either one. There's 2 running around, so it's very possible that we get a good chance at one of them. Here's one of the days that I went out hunting. I'm real excited to get out there and get after it, and we all know how this day ended, but then the next morning, hit list number 3. We have 3 bucks back on our hit list, possibly 4, one at the motherland, but he's just so borderline, and it would be really nice to keep the genetics he has around for a couple of years, as long as the neighbors don't shoot him. But yeah, I mean, this is fantastic news, and it gets better out there because we got bucks moving through many times. So we took this journey together. That camera was out there for 7 weeks. Not a single antler, not a spike buck, not a nubbin, no bucks. And now, after 1 week of being out there, we got that buck cruising through. We had the big one, showed up once. And we had a couple does still moving around, obviously. This is really cool. And then, where am I? Boom, look at him, ha! Pretty cool shot, if you ask me. But anyway, and then we got more bucks running around here. They're spike bucks, they're small bucks, but they're still bucks running around here, and that's all I need to know. Like, that's all I wanted before I got to stand out there. The storm damage is out there. Our tree stand spot's kind of messed up, so I was considering not even putting a tree stand out there until I found out what the traffic was like. Bucks are starting to show up now. It's getting closer to that sweet November. So I've decided I'm going to get a stand out there. It's just, now I gotta figure out where. I have 2 spots in mind. The same old, or a little ways down, but you have to stay tuned. You have to subscribe to see how that goes. Let's hop on over to this property. I was so excited for this property. It's not even funny how awesome it seemed, but on the back of my head, I knew it's just gonna be too good to be true. And so yeah, it's overpressured. There's a lot of hunters there. I found a trail camera. I crouched in front of it with one of my shirts, SgtOutdoors1, if you want one. And he messaged me, and we talked for a bit. So I mean, there's just too many hunters out there. That guy alone knew 3 people that were going out there. I ran into a family. There's a blind in there. There was 2 other stands that didn't have ladders on them that I had run into. So I have, like I said, a couple of options. I can either just give up on it, which I don't want to do because hunting is very limited this year, or just move way back in, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a really tough decision, but I'd put this camera out on a scrape, and you know, there's a couple little bucks running around, but they were hitting it up. They were going through, and they're not terrible by any means. Like this guy here, I would get closer to rifle season. It's gonna be a buck like this that gets my arrow this year. I've been waiting for too long to shoot a buck with my bow. It's time to just get one under the belt and let the wall mounters come later in my life. That's really what I've been waiting for bow season. I enjoy bow hunting so much that I've just been waiting for my first buck to be nothing short of putting him on the wall. It was just a quick update on life and what I've been up to. I have been in the woods. I have been hunting. It just hasn't been panning out. And when you go out and you film a bunch of stuff, but then you don't even have a deer on camera, it's tough to make an episode for you guys and get it out there. So I was just waiting until I got content, and then I was gonna throw it in there just like I have today. So this is where I leave you guys tonight on this Trail Camera Tuesday. And as this is live, I'm at work until late. Ugh. But anyway, I digress. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging with me through these dry periods of content where there's nothing really happening in the woods. You can call it October lull, you can call it whatever you want. I appreciate you guys hanging out, hitting the like button, hitting the dislike button, commenting on the videos. What are you guys seeing in your woods? Things like that. I really appreciate it. Sharing your stories, that's what I really like. Talking to you guys in the comments. Whether you email me, messaging me on Instagram or Facebook, I really appreciate it. So, anyway, I'm rambling because I feel like I have a lot more to tell you guys because I haven't been on the camera in a while, but this is where I gotta leave it. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you on the cell cam.